Hey, what's guys? Go back to my channel, which is me, and yeah, so this is the first video of 2022. So, kind of want to make my first video just a little light because, maybe the videos after this are gonna be a little bit harsh and talk about reality. But anyway, this video is gonna be a review on Encanto. So, just like everybody during Christmas Eve, we bought a subscription to Disney Plus to watch Encanto. And also watch the Book of Boba Fett. But anyway, we're talking about Encanto. So, yeah. Didn't anybody felt like the movie just came out when it came to Disney Plus? Like, when it came to theaters in the first time, I didn't really hear that much people talk about it. Yeah, I've seen reviews, but, it didn't get the buzz. I thought, oh, well, maybe it's good, but, it's not worth, to die in the theaters. But when it came in Disney Plus, oh my god, it was like a second birth of the movie. I've seen more reviews come out. I've seen people make fan art. People already cosplaying these characters. Like, holy shit. So yeah, it happened quick, and it was perfect timing because, it came out on Christmas, and that's when everybody was together. And the sad part about that is I think everybody got corona because of that. Oh god, that's depressing. But anyway, Encanto is a movie about a Colombian family, Los Madrigals, that has a magical house that gave some of them powers. And one of the family members that was unfortunate enough was Mirabel. So if you know my review style, I usually just say right out of the bat what I feel about this movie. I don't want anybody anticipating, oh, what he's gonna say. No. It is a average movie, but it had a lot of potential. Like, I was watching this, I'm like, holy shit, this is like a new route that, Disney doesn't really explore. But then, you look at the time and you're like, oh shit, it's about to end. Like, the only con about this movie is that it's made by Disney. So any edge or a slight darkness, they only show for a few seconds, and then they wipe it out. Like, oh no, everything's okay. Everything's okay. Nothing scary is gonna happen. At the end, it's all gonna be happy. All right, sunflowers and rainbows and shit. Because the message of this movie is families giving children high expectations. It's like what parents decide what your faith is, and you have to fulfill it. Even though maybe you don't like it, but it's because you were expected to do it. It's like with kids with special somewhat abilities. Not I'm not saying they have powers, but kids they turn out very athletic, or they turn out to be geniuses. And the parents are like, oh shit, this kid's gonna be something. Oh god, he's gonna be an athlete. He's gonna be a doctor. He's gonna discover the next cure of cancer. Like it's that type of shit. And, kids, they're peer pressured to do it. It's never asked what they want in life, but it's what their parents think what they want in life. Just looking at them, it's like, all right, you're strong or you're intelligent. You would probably be great at being either a doctor or athlete, or, a soldier. It's that type of shit. It's never, they never ask the kids, like, oh, what do you want to do in life? It's like, well, I got muscles, but I kind of just want to be, an artist. I personally love this message because, with Disney, with its old classic movies, like, oh, the perfect princesses and the perfect people, this was just like, oh no, everything's fake. Like, I don't like doing this. I am deeply depressed right now. The family is just fronting. Like, they gotta seem perfect in front of the town. Like, they make it seem like the family is perfect, but it's just like, oh, well, there's one family member that isn't. And even when you do have powers, just like Bruno, you could be outcasted for having powers that could reveal how imperfect your life is gonna be. But then, when you really look deep inside, like Maribel, she's like, no, we're not perfect. we got an uncle who's living behind the walls. We have a sister that's having a nervous breakdown. We have, one of the other sisters, she's, being forced to marry. The house is breaking down. The family is not perfect. And that's what I love about this message, especially coming from Disney. So the overall story of this movie, it was average. But, all the deep messaging and also the characters were the ones that was carrying this movie. The music in this movie, soundtrack was great, but the ones where they had them singing, it was disappointing. There's only been two of them that I actually like. One I liked, one I really love. And one of them I liked was the intro, the intro of of them singing, and then the Bruno song. The Bruno song, one of the best. I gotta say, coming out of Disney, and then everything else was just average. I did not care of them. The Bruno song I'm still listening today, even after I watched the movie. I go back to YouTube and check the Vivo account and watch that shit again, or I just go to my Disney Plus account and I also like listen to the other languages too. I've listened to the Spanish one and that sounded pretty good too. Characters in this movie were really good. I love each and every one of these characters. The biggest con about this movie is not utilizing the characters. Like, man, I love this family. Everybody's unique. Everybody, acts different. They're not the same characters. I love every one of them. I find them very relatable to either me or another family member. But they were just used as either side characters or just characters in the background. Like, I don't know what they could have done. Maybe make the movie longer, give them more scenes, or like maybe, better utilize these characters. Even with the story they had, I felt like there could have been better ways to have any of these characters hang around Mirabel, at a lot of more scenes. But even with the small scenes they do have, I still love these characters. Like, I'm begging Disney to make a second one and have that movie more focus on all the other family members instead of Mirabel. The voice acting here was pretty good. I liked everybody's voices here. But the only thing I gotta say is that, they're in Colombia. I wish they put just a little bit effort into the Colombian accent, because everybody sounded like they're from the U.S. Like, they had no accents. It sounded kind of odd for me. It took me out of the movie sometimes. I'm like, oh no, this isn't supposed to be based in whatever time they are in. And sometimes I hate it when they say modern phrases, or modern references. It was very odd hearing John Leguizamo not sound exaggerating. Because, he's been in a lot of movies where he's a fucking cartoon, alright? Either it was live action or an actual cartoon. Like, he always sounded weird. Like, I like this because he was just subtle. He sounded like what he would sound like maybe in real life, So I'm mixed with this movie. Like, at the same time, I think it's average, but I do love some parts of the movie, and that is the deeper meaning of the story and also the characters. And also, that Bruno song was actually pretty fucking good. I'm still listening to it, and also the intro too. So, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. If the characters had more scene time, I think it would have been easily a 9 out of 10, But yeah, this is my opinion. This would easily, kids will love it, or, family members would like it. This is a great, movie to show for family. So, yeah, go ahead and watch it. I highly recommend it. Alright, so that's all I gotta say about, just my review of it. Let's talk about some shit. Let's talk about spoilers and, some shit I want to say. Some stupid shit I want to say. So, where were the family when Pablo Escobar was around? Alright, that was a stupid... But, no, really. What would they do if, they were around Pablo Escobar? They wouldn't be the same characters. They'd probably either be dead or, grandparents, and, their offsprings would be the ones dealing with him. It's either they would have dealt with him, like, X-Men and, that shit, or they wouldn't do anything and just protect their, territory, or they themselves would be the cartel, or they would work with Pablo Escobar. I don't know. So yeah, that was just a funny question. But, yeah. So the grandma leaving this one town because, there's a lot of, gangs or whatever they're called to start a new life in this other town. I'm wondering, okay, since, there's probably word has gone out saying, oh, there's people with magical powers in that town. We don't want to fuck with that. What if they tried them? Would the Madrigals stand a chance with those gang members? I think they would, but I think a lot of them would die. Now, if Disney makes a movie where that happens, and obviously, yeah, they would make it where, oh, everybody's alive, and they didn't kill any of the gangs. But in reality, you gotta think, some of them will probably die. Now, I'm not Doctor Strange. I can't predict, different type of outcomes in which everybody will survive. Look, what I'm saying is, some of them will die most likely in any type of outcomes. So I'm going to categorize which of the family members would do great in whatever situation. So, all right, we got Isabella. I think she would be great if, she uses her vines to maybe capture someone and someone can give the final blow. She also can make a cactus, so she could probably make a trap. Now, it wouldn't kill the enemy, but it would probably hurt them or, irritate them, so they would be very, it won't be focused maybe on the battle, but more focused on his pain, Luisa would be a good attacker. She's strong as shit. She trains, so, just give her a bat and, hit the guy in the head, and she'll probably decapitate the person from its body. Dolores would be a great intel class, like she can hear a mile away. Well, I don't really know her capability. I don't know how far she can hear, but it would be too valuable to send her to fight and maybe die. She'll most likely die. So she would just give like info of either where they are or where direction they're coming from or what their plans are. She's way too valuable to die. So she's support or intel. I don't know. Like I'll just say she's intel. What else? Carmelo. He would be a good recon. Maybe he could, disguise as one of the those gangs. But he might die. Like, he might fuck around and just die, or maybe someone accidentally hits him, and then he just changes back. Or, just get taps, I don't know. But, he might die. That's one of the situations I could see. But he would be a good recon. Antonio would be a great attack. I could see him getting an alligator. Getting an alligator or whatever, bear or jaguar, and eating or killing one of them gang members. He can possibly be, an intel class too, because, he can talk to the animals, so he can probably have them eavesdrop and then tell them where they are or what their plans are. So just like her sister, Peppa, I could see her maybe using the weather to, make the terrain for their travels harder. Maybe you can make it rain all day. And, they either fall or trip or get sick. Or maybe even in that trip, they either hurt themselves or even die. So, that'll be cool. I'm not sure if she can control the thunder and which direction it can go. But if she could, she can hit one of the cartel members and they will die. That'll be pretty cool. Bruno, by looking at his ability to look at the future, it doesn't really seem like it's very convenient. It feels like it takes a long time to predict something, and it's very vague. So I don't know. Yeah, intel, I guess, but I don't. Sadly, I think he's pretty like underwhelming. When it comes to maybe doing this combat shit. Just doing casual stuff's yet. But no, he's intel. Now Julieta, she would be a medic, and she's very useful. Again, she's way too valuable to die, potentially die, so she wouldn't be the one fighting, but she would definitely be healing people that either got majorly hit or anything. But now, I'm not sure how far she can heal. Like, could she heal somebody who's close to death? I'm not sure how deep her powers are. But if it is, then yeah, she's a pretty good class. She's S tier. So, I think that's all the family members. So yeah, again, I think most likely some of them will die. Carmelo might be one of them. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Maybe you guys will, say what you think. Let's talk about Peppa. It's kind of weird that she's like the one white family member. Like, it would make a lot of sense if maybe, the father was like light skinned or even white. It would make sense why she's, very light skinned or just straight up just white. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm not saying that she's not Colombian for being white. All I'm saying is that, DNA-wise, this don't add up. Unless, the grandma's parents, they got some white DNA. Or maybe that baby's not his. So fucking stupid. But yeah. Maybe. Yo, there are videos in YouTube where they have a bunch of, like, compilations and highlights of all the characters' parts. And notice that they're like at least like less than 4 minutes long. Like at least half is the parts where they talk, and the other half is where they're in the background. That is how much screen time they have. That's why I complain that why couldn't Disney figure out a way to put some of these characters in more scenes. So like, I have Disney Plus, so that means I could rewatch this thing again. And I was like, all right, let's rewatch some of my favorite scenes of other characters. And then I realized, oh god, there's not a lot, and the ones there are, they're short. They're basically they weren't in the movie. And in my head, I'm just like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Why did you make these many characters? And then, like, oh, they only have like 2 minutes of scenes. I think that's just a waste of time. Like, why did you make these many characters? Why did you make them so likable? It's like, all right, let's make these characters. All right, they already have 2 minutes of scene time. All right, put them in the trash. So yeah, overall, I like the movie. It's an average movie, but I still like it, so yeah, highly recommend. Go watch it with your family, so yeah. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, follow Twitch and Twitter. Twitch and Twitter. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you later. Bye.